Have you ever found yourself asking one of the most fundamental questions about human existence? Why do some people seem to effortlessly attract miracles, authentic love, and material abundance into their lives with almost supernatural ease, while others, despite working desperately hard, despite their sincere efforts and genuine intentions, appear to be repeatedly battering themselves against an invisible wall? Why does it seem that some individuals possess some kind of magic, some special advantage that opens every door and smooths every path, while others struggle at every turn? What is their secret? Is it luck? Perhaps they have special talents or unique genetic gifts. Maybe they were born under the right circumstances, to the right families, with the right advantages? No. The answer is far deeper than any of these surface-level explanations. And here is what is most important about understanding this. The answer lies completely within your power. It is not external. It is not determined by circumstances beyond your control. Everything, absolutely everything, comes down to the story that you are unconsciously telling yourself every single day. This is not some loud, dramatic saga filled with grand pronouncements and theatrical declarations. This is not the kind of story you would shout from rooftops. Instead, it is a quiet, almost imperceptible whisper echoing in the most hidden, secret corners of your consciousness, in those deep recesses of your mind where you keep your most vulnerable thoughts and deepest fears. This whisper is extraordinarily powerful. It dictates which decisions you make at crucial moments in your life. It shapes which emotions you allow yourself to experience. It filters your perception of reality, determining what opportunities you notice and which ones you overlook completely. It writes the script, line by line, scene by scene, of your entire life story. It determines whether your life unfolds as a tragedy, a comedy, a romance, or an adventure. And most crucially, it runs this entire program without your conscious awareness or permission. Today, we are not simply going to bring this unconscious whisper into the light and examine it. That would be incomplete and ineffective. Instead, we are going to arm ourselves with a comprehensive, practical, step-by-step instruction manual that will allow you to completely rewrite this narrative, word by word, line by line, scene by scene. We are going to take back authorship of your life story. We are going to become the screenwriter, the director, and the star of our own existence. Scientific foundation. This is not metaphor. This is not esoteric fantasy or spiritual wishful thinking. This is actual physics. This is measurable biology. This is how your reality actually functions at the deepest levels of its operation. Let me explain this with scientific precision. Your brain, this remarkable 3-pound organ inside your skull, is not a static, frozen, unchanging structure like many people believe. It is not hardwired, locked in place, permanently fixed from the moment you were born. Quite the opposite. Your brain possesses an extraordinary, almost miraculous property called neuroplasticity. This term simply means that your brain is constantly, every single second, every single moment, physically rebuilding itself. It is restructuring its own neural pathways in direct response to your dominant thoughts and the emotions you are feeling in each moment. Here is what happens at the neurological level. When you repeat a thought day after day after day, when you cycle through the same internal dialogue, the same worry patterns, the same limiting conclusions, something remarkable occurs in your brain. You are literally, not metaphorically, but literally, paving neural highways in your brain tissue. You are making those neural connections stronger. Those pathways become more established. They become more automatic. They require less conscious effort to activate. Imagine a dirt trail in a forest. The first time someone walks it, it is barely visible. You can hardly tell anyone ever passed through. But if 1,000 people walk the same path year after year, it becomes a well-established trail with visible wear. Then if millions of people walk it, it becomes a road. If traffic continues, it becomes a highway. By the same principle, if you have been thinking, "I will never succeed," or "I am always unlucky" repeatedly for years, you have literally paved and reinforced a metaphorical superhighway in your brain, a superhighway leading directly to failure, struggle, and limitation. But here is the key that changes everything. You can use this very same neuroplasticity intentionally and consciously. You can become the architect of your own neural network. You can deliberately begin creating new pathways, pathways that lead toward health, toward abundance, toward harmony, toward authentic success, and genuine joy. This is not wishful thinking. This is neuroscience. This is how your brain actually works. Furthermore, modern science has definitively demonstrated something extraordinary about your heart, something that mainstream culture has largely overlooked despite its profound significance. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field. This is not some tiny, insignificant force. Your heart's electromagnetic field is approximately 5,000 times more powerful than the electromagnetic field generated by your brain. Your heart is not merely a biological pump circulating blood through your vessels. It is far more than that. Your heart is a powerful energetic center, perhaps the most powerful energy generator in your entire body. The emotions you experience directly and immediately alter the vibrational frequency of this electromagnetic field. When you experience fear, when doubt gnaws at you, when resentment and sorrow or anxiety consume your consciousness, these emotions create a chaotic, fragmented, discordant signal. This jagged signal creates dissonance in the quantum field surrounding you, the invisible matrix of energy from which all physical reality emerges and is continually created. But contrast this with gratitude, with genuine joy, with unconditional love. When you truly feel these higher frequency emotions, when your entire being resonates with them, something profound happens. These emotions generate a powerful, coherent, unified wave. This harmonious signal literally gently harmonizes the reality around you. It attracts people and events that resonate at the same high frequency. You become a tuning fork, vibrating at a specific frequency. And the universe responds by bringing you experiences and connections that match that frequency. The problem and its hidden origins. But here is the crucial question. Where does this original script come from? Where do these limiting narratives originate? Why do so many of us find ourselves imprisoned by stories we never consciously chose? Here is what most people fundamentally do not understand about human conditioning. From your earliest childhood onward, society begins handing you a massive, heavy tome of unwritten rules. Nobody sits you down formally and explicitly teaches you these rules. Instead, you absorb them through 1,000 subtle messages, through observation, through implication, and osmosis. The rule book whispers, do not stand out or draw attention to yourself. Be like everyone else in your group. Big money is dangerous and corrupt. Real love only exists in movies and fairy tales. Do not ask for too much. You're not worthy of it. We absorb these social codes. We mistake them for absolute truth, rather than recognizing them as the fears and limitations of previous generations passed down through cultural transmission. We then spend the rest of our lives constructing our reality, brick by brick, decision by decision, within this invisible but incredibly strong prison cell. We become architects of our own limitations. We are terrified to dream in big ways, to ask for more, to declare ourselves worthy because we have been taught that such dreams are somehow immodest, inappropriate, selfish, even blasphemous in some cases. We build walls without ever realizing that the door of the prison has never actually been locked. We hold it closed ourselves through our unconscious obedience to a script that was written for us by people who never even knew us, written centuries before we were born. To this inherited conditioning, we add energetic trauma, single, painful experiences that create deep scars in our consciousness. One incident of betrayal, one moment of public humiliation, one rejection at precisely the wrong moment. These experiences, especially in childhood, imprint themselves deeply into our psyche. They become filters through which we interpret all subsequent reality. They force us to unconsciously expect repetition of the pain. They actively block happiness, success, and connection. We might not consciously remember these incidents. We might have completely blocked them out from our conscious memory. But our nervous system remembers, our body remembers, our energy field carries the imprint permanently. I want you to stay with me through the end of this entire presentation. Do not click away. Do not get distracted by something else. Do not pause and return to other tasks. Stick with this message because what is coming next will reveal genuine, actionable principles. Principles that have the authentic potential to completely transform your entire life and future. The framework you're about to learn has been tested by thousands of people across different cultures, different circumstances, different backgrounds. It works consistently. Please take a moment right now to subscribe to our channel. Find the subscribe button and click it. While you are at it, place a like on this video. It only takes a second, but it means the world to us and to the channel. And please leave a comment below. Any comment whatsoever. For example, you could simply type 3 sevens, 727. Every single like you place, every comment you share, every subscription, these small actions send powerful signals to the YouTube algorithm. They indicate that this content is valuable and deserves to be promoted to millions of other people who are desperately searching for this exact understanding but have not found it yet. Your support helps us create more content, but more importantly, your support helps spread this transformational message to people who are ready to hear it. Together, we are building a community of people choosing to rewrite their own destiny. Thank you for being part of this mission. Deep analysis of the obstacles. First obstacle, limiting beliefs that become your operating system. Let us examine in detail the primary mechanisms of self-imprisonment. The first major obstacle is what I call limiting beliefs. Deep, often unconscious convictions about yourself, about the world, about what is possible and what is impossible. Take the classic limiting belief, I am not good enough. At first glance, this seems like just a negative thought, just something you occasionally think about yourself. But let us look at what is actually happening from a neuroscientific perspective. Every single time you entertain this thought, every time you believe it even momentarily, a specific neural network in your brain activates. The neural circuits fire, the pathways light up. And here is the crucial part. The more frequently you travel along that same neural pathway, the stronger and faster it becomes. You are essentially paving and reinforcing it. Eventually, it transforms into a reflex, something automatic, something that happens without conscious thought or deliberation. Now imagine this scenario. Someone offers you a promotion at work, a new position, more responsibility, more visibility, more money. But before you even consciously process the opportunity, before you can think clearly about whether you want it, your automatic reflex fires. That deeply ingrained belief activates, I will not be able to handle it. I am not good enough. Without realizing what is happening, you talk yourself out of the opportunity. You convince yourself that someone else would be better suited. You find reasons to decline. Or imagine you meet someone attractive, someone you have genuine chemistry with. You feel that spark of connection. But your internal critic, that automatic voice programmed by your limiting belief, whispers insidiously, why would they want me? I am not good enough. They will find someone better eventually. This belief becomes your operating system, filtering all incoming data about reality. It rejects opportunities before you even consciously consider them. It preemptively eliminates possibilities from your awareness. Second obstacle, negative word viruses that program your reality. The second powerful obstacle is what I call negative word viruses. Specific words and phrases you use habitually that, from a quantum physics perspective, carry particular vibrational frequencies that program your reality in limiting ways. Think carefully about these common words. I hope and I will try. At first glance, they seem innocent, almost positive, they sound hopeful. But from the perspective of quantum physics, something very different is happening beneath the surface. Every word carries a specific vibrational frequency. When you say, I will try, you're doing something profound at the quantum level. You are pre-programming the universe for the possibility of failure. You are simultaneously declaring your intention and suggesting an escape clause from that intention. You are sending a message to the quantum field about your fundamental uncertainty. Your energy becomes diffuse and scattered. Your signal becomes weak and contradictory. The universe does not respond to what you want. The universe responds to who you are, to the frequency you are emanating, to the vibrational signature of your being. When you broadcast uncertainty through your words, when you use language that contains built-in failure as a possibility, you attract circumstances that confirm that built-in failure. But here's the transformation. Replace I will try with I am doing or I am choosing. Feel the difference. I will try to find a new job is weak, passive, and contains failure as an inherent possibility. But I am finding a new, perfect job, or I am choosing work that nourishes my soul, sends a coherent, powerful pulse into the quantum field. This unified signal collapses the waves of probability into the specific result you desire. Third obstacle, emotional blocks anchored to traumatic memories. The third significant barrier is emotional blocks, particularly the fear of failure and other deep fears, anchored to past traumatic experiences. Imagine this scenario from childhood. You perform in a school assembly or talent show. You are nervous, your hands are shaking, and mid-performance, you forget your lines. The audience laughs. Some people mock you. A teacher perhaps makes a critical comment. In that moment, a deep emotional anchor is created, a lightning-fast association. Attention equals humiliation. Your nervous system imprints this connection permanently. Now you are an adult. Consciously, you want success. Consciously, you want to stand out, to be recognized, to achieve your goals. But every time an opportunity comes along that requires you to be visible, to stand up and be noticed, to put yourself out there publicly, your subconscious system activates that old recording. Your nervous system says, this is dangerous. This leads to humiliation. You need to retreat. You need to hide. You begin experiencing irrational, intense fear. Fear that seems out of proportion to the actual situation. You start sabotaging yourself, unconsciously finding reasons to back out, reasons to decline the opportunity, reasons to stay small and invisible, all to avoid repeating that old pain. You might not consciously remember that school performance. You might have completely blocked it out. But your body remembers. Your energy field carries the imprint. Your nervous system is still responding to that old threat as if it is happening right now. Fourth obstacle, energy leaks that drain your creative power. The fourth obstacle drains your vital life force, your creative power, your ability to manifest your new reality. I call this energy leaks. These are the everyday patterns of complaint, gossip, judgment of others, and wasteful worry about things beyond your control. Most people think these are harmless habits, small vices, normal social behaviors, but they are far more damaging than that. Every single time you complain about your life, you are not simply venting or expressing frustration. You are placing an order with the universe. You are essentially requesting more scarcity, please. More problems, more struggle. Your energy and your attention become concentrated on what is wrong, on what is missing, on what you lack. And according to the law of attraction, the law of vibrational resonance, you receive more of exactly that. When you gossip about someone, when you judge them harshly, when you criticize their choices, something subtle but profound happens to your own frequency. You lower your own vibration down to match the level of the person you are judging. You literally pull yourself energetically down to their level or below. Imagine trying to fill a container with water, but the container is riddled with hundreds of tiny holes. No matter how much water you pour in, it is constantly leaking out. You can never fill the container. This is what happens with your life force when you engage in constant complaining, gossiping, and judgment. Your creative energy, the energy you could be directing toward building a new reality, toward manifesting your dreams, toward creating positive change, is constantly leaking away into an invisible void. The path to rewriting your destiny. But here is the crucial insight. To truly rewrite your destiny, you do not need to fight these obstacles. Fighting them only strengthens them and gives them more of your energy and attention. The path to genuine transformation lies through conscious awareness and what I call breaking the pattern. Step 1, the pattern interrupt, breaking the hypnotic trance. So how do we escape from this locked, repetitive cycle? How do we break the trance? The first essential tool is what I call the pattern interrupt. This is elegantly simple, yet extraordinarily powerful in its effects. In the exact moment when you catch yourself spiraling into an old, destructive thought, the moment you hear yourself starting to complain, the instant you notice yourself about to gossip, you must immediately take a deliberate physical action. Something unusual, something that will jolt your nervous system out of its automaticity. Snap your fingers sharply, pinch your skin firmly, slap your knee, jump up and down, say something out loud forcefully, cancel, or stop. I choose something different. What does this seemingly simple action accomplish? It creates what I call a glitch in the matrix of your habitual programming. It interrupts the automatic neurological loop. It yanks you out of autopilot and grants you something precious, a window, maybe just a few seconds, where you have genuine freedom. In that window, you are not locked into the automatic response. You have the authentic power to choose something different, a different thought, a different response, a different reality. Think about how a computer works. Sometimes your computer freezes. It is stuck. It will not respond to anything. Do you sit there analyzing the problem? Do you try to understand the underlying code causing the freeze? No. You simply hold down the power button and force a restart. You do not need to understand the problem. You just need to interrupt the frozen state and reboot the system. Your mind works identically. When you catch yourself in a loop of negative thinking, you do not need to spend hours analyzing where it came from or why it is there. You just need to interrupt it and consciously redirect your focus toward what you desire rather than what you fear. Step 2. Words of power. Replacing disempowered language. The second essential tool in reclaiming authorship of your reality is what I call words of power. Intentionally replacing disempowering language with empowered language that raises your vibration. Your words are not merely sounds coming out of your mouth. Your words are vibrations. They are creative forces. They physically reshape the neural pathways in your brain. They determine the vibrational frequency you emit into the quantum field. Your words tell your subconscious mind and the universe itself exactly who you are and what you believe to be true about yourself and your possibilities. Instead of saying, "I hope something changes," positioning you as powerless, passive, uncertain, say, "I know," or "I choose," positioning you as certain, active, intentional. Feel the difference as these words move through your consciousness and your body. "I hope I will be happy someday," positions you as a beggar, someone supplicating the universe for crumbs of happiness. But "I choose joy right now," positions you as a creator, someone who consciously generates their own experience. Instead of saying, "I have a problem and I do not know how to solve it," say, "I have a task," or "This is an opportunity for growth." This subtle linguistic shift transforms the entire energetic signature of the situation. A problem feels heavy, burdensome, potentially unsolvable. A task can be completed. An opportunity excites your nervous system and activates the creative, solution-finding part of your brain. Instead of saying, "I need money," vibration of lack and desperation, say, "I allow financial abundance," or "I am open to prosperity opportunities." Step 3. Conscious affirmations. Frequency selection. The third critical tool is using affirmations intentionally, not as empty mantras you recite mechanically while your mind wanders elsewhere, but as conscious choices about which frequency you are selecting and which reality you are calling into being. Use these affirmations with genuine feeling and embodied conviction, not just words spoken from your lips. My energy is open to miracles and magic. The universe is always on my side and supporting my growth. I am releasing the past and lovingly embracing my bright future. I am a magnet for luck and unlimited abundance. Repeat these affirmations not mechanically but consciously, feeling them move through your entire body, allowing your nervous system to absorb the frequency they represent. Real life. Examples of people who rewrote their destiny history is filled with thousands of examples of people who refused to play the script that society and circumstance wrote for them. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper job. His supervisor gave him an official reason: lack of imagination. Can you imagine that? Being officially told by someone in a position of power that you lack imagination. Most people would have internalized that message. They would have accepted it as truth. They would have adjusted their self-concept downward, accepting the verdict of this authority figure as permanent fact about themselves. But Disney's internal script, his internal narrative about who he was and what was possible, remained unshaken. He did not believe the opinion of one person more than he believed in his own vision. He then faced literally hundreds of rejections as he worked to pitch and finance his concept for a theme park. Hundreds of times, people said no. Hundreds of times, doors were slammed in his face. Hundreds of times, financial investors said, "This is a crazy idea. It will never work." But Disney's frequency never shifted. His vibrational output remained aligned with his dream, not with the opinions of rejecting gatekeepers. And eventually, after years of persistence, after maintaining his vision, despite countless external contradictions, those vibrations attracted the exact circumstances, people, and financial resources needed to manifest Disneyland into physical reality. Today, that park generates billions of dollars annually and brings joy and wonder to millions of people every year. J.K. Rowling, who later became known as Joanne Rowling, was a single mother living on government welfare. She was broke, desperate, and struggling to survive. By every external measure, society had already written her script: you will be poor and unsuccessful. She was a single mother with no marketable skills in a difficult economy. The narrative was written, but Rowling had something else, a story in her mind, a vision of a young wizard attending a magical school. She decided to rewrite her narrative. She began writing despite her poverty. She sent her manuscript to publisher after publisher. She received rejection after rejection, a total of 12 rejections from 12 different publishers. 12 times she was told no. 12 times she was rejected, but she maintained her frequency. She continued to believe in her story and in herself. She refused to accept the external rejections as truth about her destiny. And then, with the 13th publisher, someone said yes. That book, Harry Potter, has since been translated into nearly 80 languages. It has sold over 500 million copies. It created a literary universe that has generated billions of dollars. Rowling transformed her poverty into unimaginable wealth by refusing to play the role society had written for her, and instead consciously rewriting her own script. Nick Vujicic was born without arms and without legs. According to the narrative that society typically writes for people with severe physical disabilities, his story should have been one of tragedy, of limitation, of diminished potential. By every measure, his physical circumstances could have determined his destiny: poverty, isolation, dependence on others, a life lived small and invisible. But Vujicic rewrote his script. He reframed his disability not as a limitation, but as a catalyst for compassion and connection. He became a professional motivational speaker, someone who travels the world, standing before thousands of people, sharing his message of hope and resilience. He has written multiple books. He has created a global movement. He has inspired millions of people to overcome their own perceived limitations. He could not change his physical circumstances. He could not grow new arms or new legs, but he changed his internal narrative. He changed his frequency. He changed his beliefs about what was possible. And by changing these internal factors, he created an external reality that, on the surface, seemed impossible given his physical limitations. Your life responds to you, not the reverse. Here is the fundamental truth that transforms everything. Your life is not happening to you. You are not a helpless leaf being blown by winds you cannot control. You are not a passive victim of circumstances beyond your influence. Your life is actively responding to you. It is mirroring your frequency. It is manifesting your beliefs. It is creating circumstances that match your energetic output, that reflect your dominant thoughts, that validate your deepest convictions about yourself and the world. Your current situation, whether you are struggling, comfortable, or thriving, is not an accident. It is not cosmic punishment or bad luck. It is a precise reflection of where you have been vibrating, what you have been believing, and what you have been unconsciously broadcasting into the quantum field. The perfect moment for transformation, for rewriting your destiny, is not some mythical future date. It is not next Monday when you will finally get organized and start fresh. It is not January 1st when the calendar resets and you will commit to change. It is not next month when circumstances will magically align in your favor. The perfect moment is right now, this exact second. In this present moment, your power exists. You are exactly where you need to be at this precise moment in your journey. Every challenge you have endured has prepared you for this moment of awakening. Every difficulty has built your psychological and spiritual strength. Every apparent failure has simply been recalibration of your internal compass, tuning you toward a better destination. Every painful experience has been a teacher. Nothing has been wasted. Nothing has been meaningless. You have been prepared for this moment. Powerful conclusion. You are the author. Your future is not locked into place by your past. It is not determined by your history, your circumstances of birth, your previous failures, or your current perceived limitations. Your future is determined entirely by the choice you make right now, in this moment, by the frequency you choose to emit, by the belief you choose to embrace, by the identity you choose to step into, by the narrative you choose to inhabit. The script is not written in stone. The story of your life is not predetermined. You are not bound by anything except your own choices and beliefs. Choose your thoughts with precision and intention. Every thought either builds or diminishes. Every thought either attracts or repels. Every thought is a brick in the structure of your reality. Choose your feelings consciously. Emotions are not things that happen to you randomly or against your will. They are things you can generate intentionally. You can choose to feel genuine gratitude right now, embodied, felt in your body, even for challenges. You can choose to feel confidence even in the face of uncertainty. You can choose to feel joy even while difficulties exist. These choices create your future. These internal choices manifest as external reality. Your new reality is not arriving at some distant point in time. It is being created right now, in this very moment. Through the choices you're making, through the frequency you're maintaining, through the identity you're embodying. Stop being a passive spectator watching a film that someone else wrote. Take back your power. Assume the role of director. Become the author, the artist, the sculptor of your reality. The step-by-step instruction manual is now in your hands. The tools are available to you right now. What will you create in the next second? Which scene will you write next? What new dialogue will you speak? What new character will you become? Whose story will you tell? The choice is only yours. The power is only yours. The pen is in your hand. Your breakthrough moment is not someday. Your transformation is not future. You are not becoming. You are already here. You already possess everything you need. Step into it. Claim it. Become it fully. Write your new destiny, starting now.